done.
Yeah, already his resignation letter was due.
Yes, yeah, we were actually,
When first knowledge of it?
we talked about it sort of.
Oh, that's right, when you guys got together.
Yeah, and then Chris and I are going to get with.
Yeah, because he's not getting it.
Well, we can't really
Well,
because.
the thing that irritates me, like, when he has the right words, he writes a CC mark for
Well,
25.
and not only that, the true opportunity for the one-time rotation.
Yeah.
So we got that.
Were designed for architectural people
And
its own art.
well, and what we need to do is get to the point where we have something we can present, and we go to the front first, and we say, all the people that come here, we want to have our propaganda about this, and then,
All the same, only we found out that the only change is because of the specific.
Why don't you text me?
Why don't you tell us what we're gonna say because you resigned from there, so you really can't.
Well, actually, it says,
Technically, you're not a committee member.
well, you jumped the gun because I didn't give you a resignation.
No, but you said it in open,
And it says effective today.
And we didn't do anything about it.
you read it in open session as it's
Well, you
effective.
have paperwork. The guy wants to put a shed in, it's 5 foot into the setback, and he has a letter there from the
What is
neighbor
Chris Hill, he wants
saying
to
he's
do the
okay
planning
with
stage
it.
of this?
And the committee has,
some connections
We got
to
that.
the country line.
do you have
He's got
that?
something on camera.
Right, which is who
Oh,
put that
yeah.
seminar on yesterday, who can get us involved with the person who is
That
part of
person was
the
not
international
enjoying
task force on the eclipse. So she's based in St.
And I
Louis.
didn't finish.
And
And one say,
so
not
I think this is, she
necessarily.
came from the University of Missouri about a year ago, and now
Because he was
staffed
already
in
all
Canada.
this stuff that is going on. And I have to
Right
take a
here.
break, just like
Yeah,
Sherry.
that's the one thing
You
that
have to take a
And
break.
it's amazing.
It's understandable, and we should thank you for what you have done to our committee.
It's not really what I want to
Up there,
do.
and one of the
No,
ladies
I
who
don't
lives
think
there,
We finally got somebody here.
really wants to work on the light.
And,
No, everybody loves him.
Being able, so this
yeah,
month
I
is
think,
dark skies.
and what it
Dark
didn't
skies.
finish saying, my blood pressure
It's
got
perfect
up.
time to start focusing on our lights.
Julie and,
What do we do?
Oh, we've had, you missed that whole
Alan
meeting.
and
And
Matt
the termite.
He's had
and,
30 streetlights identified.
Chris.
Termite met with the inside.
all
He's
have been positive.
Two different light companies come in, they're not all done, but he's
And then
within
he
the.
goes
problem
in
is
and
we
he
got a
does like
couple
all
people
So
that.
all these streetlights are being repaired, so we can have more security.
that's an issue.
All we did was
Just-
they were down
working
working
at
at
pool.
I just, I need a break.
Joe, we
Yeah,
understand.
it's
I
understandable.
mean,
So for the
you're
next month,
going through it
there's
too.
a big.
I mean, it's a difficult committee to be on, but that's a decision only we make.
Phoebe Moreland has been.
Oh, yeah.
assistant
Stargazing,
person
right,
over
stargazing.
and-
So that's.
And Matt's got some good plans on keeping the stuff moving.
That almost looks as bad as the
And Alan's
We were in
got
Marathon one night,
good stuff
and I
now.
put the back door light on the camper on to take
Yeah,
the
we
dog.
got
When
property
happened.
over on Sims Road.
You don't do lights here at night.
Are you praising yourself?
So that's why.
We are wearing
It could
boots.
be cold.
It's cool, really cool, and they'll let you go use them. You can go listen to the spiel, see, you know, blah, blah, blah.
No,
Jim has a program on his phone.
I had one of those.
And he's saying
It
I'm
shows
something
you
way
the constellation
well.
from
over
2012
whatever
to
you're looking at.
2016.
Well, I don't see it's not true.
You can do it at day and go like this, and it's on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
pretty cool.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Right. There's a campground in Alabama, off of Lost Alaska.
Yeah.
That
But
has.
anyway, he
But
was
this
March
is not,
back in
this
17.
Oh, so they get the
Here
darkest.
we are.
Yeah. The marathon is dark, period.
Hey, one other thing that
I
He showed us a star
is we have to be able to condemn
that
property.
is the size of our sun out to Mars. It's that big, and you can see, I mean,
It
you
says, number 6, I can't read number 6 out and read
It
it.
really makes you feel
It
it.
says in there that
Insignificant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I did, and that's how we're gonna,
A dimple on a dimple on a San Francisco.
that's how we're gonna solve the problem. Just say, look, it's our problem.
So why did it camera threaten you? We told them he was okay.
That's pretty cool.
Now, when is the
I was
starting
at,
date of signing up for the board?
His neighbor, Ronnie
I don't know
Lane.
when the starting date is, it's usually the
First
first of
off,
January.
Ronnie
It's
doesn't
first
want
business day in
to
January, you have to have it.
press the
Have to
issue
have it in.
because the guys
That gives them a
yeah,
month.
wacko.
Well, what the thing is.
And
Resumes,
so anyway,
get the ballot put together.
that shed probably is on Ronnie's
And then
property.
it goes out the first of February.
Ronnie can come forward and no one said that.
He's not gonna do that. Well, we didn't know that, and what actually brought that to where it looked like it is.
No,
was the property
no,
on the other side,
You
when
just
the
has
court
to
is sold.
get the paperwork
And
in.
you look down the line,
It's
it's over about a foot. But what I think the board needs to remember and approve
It's gotta have a resume.
I've
got all the
Put
stuff.
last name is where that is. If it's in the setback where you got a neighbor,
I had
then you
one,
probably
right
don't want to
to
approve it.
248.
Because now, you know, most zoning wouldn't allow a fence to be on the property.
They know better.
The reason is, how are you gonna paint the other side?
A lot of cities, it's called
This guy, they're like,
community fence.
Give yourself a
Each
year.
owner is
Like,
like,
you know,
get too
oh,
big.
yeah, I
If
think
I had a
that's
resume,
the
I'd go to
roundabout,
fence.
but he's got that-
You know what I'm saying? I mean, always have to.
Yeah, but what if the other neighbors want the fence
Well, the
put
thing
up?
is that, you know, people,
You know, we just.
Then he has to move the fence on his
I
side.
really think
whatever
it's
they
gonna- I
want.
think
I
my-
think
do all
Like
the
developers themselves
Considering
put
what-
on
what we have to do with the
oh, yeah,
different-
I don't think.
by the fence, by house. We gotta get going.
Well,
Yes,
go ahead and come in and talk to you again. I'm sorry that this went this way, but I need a break, and now is the
So
time.
anyway,
Thank you
I've heard from
for
Christine.
what you've done and enjoy your break.
I don't
We
need
definitely need it.
Stress levels is way down.
And it's been a bad couple of weeks. It was too. You never saw my dog. I tell people, you're not supposed to have a favorite kid. Now my daughter's number one.
It's 11:07, we've reconvened. Sorry for the delay, folks. Okay, next item on the list is approved landscape equipment purchase. Again, you're up, Ellen.
Okay, since we started doing our in-house landscaping, we have a crew. We have one problem, we are a little short on lawnmowers. So in the budget, I budgeted basically $12,000 for equipment. And right now, what is proposed now is another zero-turn. We have one zero-turn mower, and it's a 60-inch. But for what we need to do, we need a second one. And I've given the three prices that we've obtained our quotes from. Tractor Supply, and this is basically the 60-inch turn, zero-turn mower. Tractor Supply, a Titan was $58.99. Kubota, zero-turn 60 was $78.70. And the Toro Zero from Home Depot was the same thing that was in Tractor Supply, it's $52.99. So we would like to go ahead and purchase the one from Home Depot. With tax, it comes to about $57.65. Now, hopefully that price hasn't changed, it hadn't as of yesterday, so. Now, they don't have one on site right now, but we can get it quickly.
And we do have one more that we're using now, right?
We have one, relatively old.
Can we keep it running?
Yeah, we are,
Okay.
yeah, it's,
For how long? Something maybe next year,
I would
replace
say
that one?
next year, and we're also looking at something that just came to light maybe 30 minutes ago that I'll tell you in executive session as far as what we're also gonna have to take over. That's the airport, so,
All right.
but that just happened, so,
Do we still have that bat wing?
yes.
Okay.
That's being used by the golf course for their exterior, the fairways.
Cause I know
But
we,
we also use it for some of our big areas.
the fair, I know that we.
Fairway twice a year,
Yeah.
I mean, for the airport.
Okay, so the recommended purchase is from Home Depot for the Toro Titan 60-inch zero-turn mower. And that is sturdy enough and meant for commercial use.
Right.
Because that was a problem in the past, they were buying residential lawnmowers to try and do commercial work.
Yeah, that's
It's
what I
a-
was looking at, Tractor Supply said more for residential, this one says up to 7 acres.
Yeah, this is This is a commercial.
And there's a 300-hour commercial warranty.
Yes, yeah.
I didn't see that one on the Kubota.
The material that you sent on, that looks like the Best Buy.
All three of them are about the same as far as their warranties, and it's just that, the Home Depot price is just a little cheaper for the same thing as what's at, Tractor Supply.
Yeah. That's actually to be expected, so.
Yeah.
So then I guess we'd have some extra money for some weed eaters. If we
We've
do
already
this.
bought the weed eaters. That was within our,
But, right.
that was pretty much an immediate thing that had to get done.
Right, okay, do we have any comments from members?
I have a question. Now, are you developing a landscaping crew within,
We've already done that. They started yesterday.
and were they already hired or?
No, they're brand new employees.
Okay.
And they will be trimming trees to that point. They will be doing, clearing off our lots that we have.
We dropped we had a lawn service that we're no longer using.
Yeah.
And it was able to make us afford to pay for employees.
Over a year, it's gonna save us about $30,000.
Wow. That's a lot.
And also give us better coverage. So that's why. And I had put in $12,000 for equipment for this year in the budget, so this is well within that.
So how many are in it?
The landscaping crew?
The landscape?
Just two,
Just two.
and we already had one person, that was what he was pretty much dedicated to already, so.
Cool.
Any, Dustin, any comments?
Looking over these, they all look like good mowers. The Kubota is significantly more expensive, and my guess in reading through these documents is because that's the only one of them that actually has a fabricated deck.
Yeah.
So it's your equipment, it's your budget. So if you think one of the stamped decks will get the job done that we need done,
Yeah.
I have no problem with this recommendation.
No?
I agree, I will follow the recommendation of Mr.
Brianna?
Allen. I'm sure that he's also conversed with Philip. So it was a, joint effort. So.
Or I guess there's a supervisor.
There's a supervisor, we did have a supervisor, or designated supervisor for landscape. So,
All right.
All right, do we have a motion?
So moved,
So moved what?
purchase the
Home Depot.
Home Depot 60 zero-turn mower.
Second?
Seconded.
All in favor? And it passes unanimously. Go buy a lawnmower.
all right.
Almost bless you.
Thank you. I'm allergic to signing that many big checks in one minute.
I would too.
Okay, the next is motel room renovation action item. Again, that's yours, Alan.
Okay, we started the motel room reservation and stopped it, I guess, because of COVID, is that correct?
Well, because of COVID and as a new board, we did not know what our finances
Oh,
were.
okay.
So we stopped all major purchases, developments, and froze salaries at that time until we could determine exactly what we had as far as funds and projects underway and so forth.
Okay, we have 9 rooms that were done and that were completed. We want to go ahead and start, and this comes from your reserve fund, your restricted fund, I believe. But our revenue for the hotel, like you said, has already gone up. Now, for us to really maintain a good product, we need to get at least 50% of our rooms renovated. So out of 38, we need to get up to at least 19. So set a schedule up to start, and this is with MK to start November the 8th. And we can do basically 4 rooms in a month. And we've already scheduled 4 rooms to be renovated. One of our rooms may end up being a little bit more expensive because we have to do some electrical work with it because it's not being rented at all now because they had some electrical problems. After inspecting the majority of the rooms, there are some that we could probably do a little less work on to save some money and still give us a good product. But what we will take is the 4 worst rooms we have and try to put them together and have them work on the 4 worst ones first and get those back into service and then go for the next 4. Once I feel that comfortable, then I think we can go ahead and do the advertising and start. There again, motel rooms are hard to rent without a place to eat breakfast or lunch or any kind of continental breakfast. So, but we do need to start renovating these rooms again.
What's cost per room?
Cost per room is $1,500. And that is the MK, and that is refinishing the floors, walls, ceilings, redoing the bathrooms, pretty much what was done to the other 9 rooms.
Now, you said this is gonna come out of restricted?
It should be.
It's a capital
capital
improvement.
expense.
I know, but with motel, that's a commercial entity. I mean, was there any way money from profit from motel can go back? Because there's a lot of there's a lot of,
It can, but your money from the hotel's going into your funds now, so.
I just don't, because we don't.
Your hotel is making you money.
Right, that's why there's like if something goes wrong with security or like say a member's amenity, if we need to use the restricted fund, if it gets depleted by a commercial, an entity that can be replaced, I just don't like it to, y'all understand what I'm saying? Like if we just keep taking it from the restricted
It
fund?
is a depreciated asset,
Yes.
so therefore it needs to be coming out of a
Right.
restricted
Yeah.
Right,
account.
and it is
Or
a capital improvement.
Capital expense,
And
yes.
when we did the plumbing underneath both motels in 2017,
Yeah,
No, I know the mattresses,
Those-
the mattresses came out of there.
that
The
should,
doors came out of there, and they were supposed to be putting 10% of whatever profit, because of the minutes, they were supposed to be putting it back into the restricted fund to replenish, and it never happened, so so I'm only thing I'm nervous is that it's,
well, y'all have the money to put in there,
It's-
that's not a
it's
issue.
there and it's, every month, $3 goes into the restricted fund from all of the memberships.
Right.
The thing is it fits the definition of a capital improvement. Now, the plumbing was paid out of the restricted fund because it was a capital improvement. Bathroom repairs were, before the last 2 years, were paid out of the restricted fund as a capital improvement. The capital improvement is to the structure. Mattresses should have been paid out of the general fund as a supply because it is not a capital improvement. Capital improvements relate to structures,
so this
supplies.
renovation, what is it including? Are we talking curtains?
not at this point, it's floors, walls,
Usually
ceilings.
in the hotel business, your capital expenses are over $1 amount, what can be expensed. With an HOA, it's a little bit different, so therefore you do it in an operations account. But if it has to do with the structure, it needs to come from your capital account.
And what are we gonna be improving? Like, what is the 1,500? What do we get for that?
Floors, walls, ceilings, bathrooms,
So this isn't drapes, comforters, okay.
which
Okay.
we will still have to do
Just
those
the
on
inside.
our
And
operating
then the
account.
outside, since it's historical, that's where preservation or the historical, they can help us on the outside. Is that correct?
No,
It's not
historic.
It's not historical.
So preservation, so we don't get help on the outside of the motel?
No.
No.
It's not a plaque, well, neither is the commissary though.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I mean, that's what I'm saying, like the inside, what you're saying, floors, walls, plumbing is a capital.
I'm just trying to get the rooms rentable. That's it.
Right, I'm just trying to understand the justification of dipping into different funds and whatnot.
Because it's a capital improvement which comes out of restricted funds.
And that's like, that's not optional for us, that's what
Right,
that
so,
fund
but
is for.
but the $1,500 is not going to, so mattresses and curtains and that stuff
Right.
would come actually from the motel income. Okay.
From the general
Yeah,
fund, yes.
because that's not attached to the building. He's talking about flooring,
Right.
paint.
Your FF&E or your furniture, fixtures, and equipment would all come general funds.
So
This
these
isn't
8 rooms
FF&E.
we're talking about, is that gonna get us to our 50%?
No,
No?
you know, I mean, it'll take 3 months through the end of the year to get up to 20, and
Okay.
that'll get us there.
And are we kind of
go a month at a
keep
time.
keeping tabs on, I don't want to disparage any groups of people, but having grown up in the oil field, they can be a little rough on equipment
Actually, they've been
sometimes.
behaving pretty well.
Yeah, good, that's good.
And we've had a couple of talks, and they understand the rules. If we had any area that was in the RV park that caused problems, I've had one night down at the park, drinking on the side, and left their beer cans, but otherwise, that was about it.
We're the only game in town for some of these people as far as rental. And,
Every RV park in the area is full.
yeah, so we're closer to some of this, and if we say, I'm sorry, your crew just damaged it, you're gonna pay for the damage, we can file against them, and we shouldn't hesitate to do so.
Yeah, I don't have a problem doing it.
Good.
Okay. Members, have any comments? All four of you? Okay.
So you're gonna do, I'm sorry, Jan, go ahead.
Well, the renovation should go a lot faster than the last one.
I don't know what happened on the last one, so I don't know. I don't know why it would.
Water under the bridge, we're starting all over.
Yeah, but it should.
Can they do 20 rooms next year?
Oh, yeah.
So effectively at Christmas time next year, we could have it all done.
Oh, yeah, easily, if we wanted to.
Barring a repeat of having to close everything down.
Yes.
Yeah.
This would be 11 rooms for this year, and that would get us up to 20. Which
And
is
as
more
long
than
as,
halfway.
we have the pipeline traffic here,
Right.
it's not a
It's
bad time to
paying-
do it, because
It's
in
paying
2
for
or
it
3
in the
years,
next
they're
7
gonna be
months.
gone.
Right,
Yeah.
so we could use the income from them to get it done.
Absolutely.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's the idea.
Yeah.
Okay, Dustin,
Yeah.
keep going. You
I'm
know?
good. That's all I wanted to say.
Doing kind of out of order, but I'm trying to move things along.
You're in
Bill?
the same?
No, go for it.
Rihanna?
I got mine.
Okay, I'm in agreement, we need to get the motel back up to standard. Some of those rooms are in deplorable condition. Loose floor, light fixtures, covers missing, toilets sinking into flooring, stuff needs to be done. And we are
I feel good, he's gonna be overseeing it, Jim. This is kind of your
yes, this is
forte.
a whole different thing, we've got an experienced person. Okay, do we have a motion from the table?
Motion to restart the motel room renovations.
Seconded.
And that's, okay, that's 15.
Starting November 8th, 4 rooms per month at $1,500 a room.
Is that,
If that's what the contract is.
is that
yes.
amendment okay for
Yes,
you?
yes, that's fine.
Okay, all in favor? It passes unanimous, last one, Director.
Sandy, can we have an open house at some point when one building is done so that the members can see what it is? We've heard a lot about this, a lot of ups and downs,
So maybe we should film it too.
so that the membership can see where their money is going.
I'll leave
We'll leave it up to Alan to decide.
I'll probably start doing my presentations about this way.
Okay,
Show
that'd be cool.
what's been done, what's happened.
He's gonna be the spear, the point of the spear here, so that will be up to him as to how he wants
Okay.
to do that. Okay, that was passed unanimous. Okay, employee health insurance package, we passed that on last week, or last month, because we did not have all of the information. So that between Julie and Alan on this one, can we have your recommendations, please? Either one of you can start first.
Do right in the bottom of this.
Okay, Julie.
Well, we're down to one company, and it's Blue Cross. Allied have backed out because of certain reasons. So we have our choices of the 3 listed here.
We might need a mic for social. Sorry, they're probably screaming.
Okay, so we have our choices of the Blue Cross Blue Shield Advantage HMO, Blue Cross Blue Shield PPO, and the HMO Blue Advantage. Those are the 3 choices the employees will have. All we need you to do is to,
How many employees signed up?
we had 14. And that will also depend too on the prices, how much it's gonna cost the employees. Some employees may back out, some employees may, depending on how much they will have to pay out of their check.
Do you recommend one of these over the other?
I like the PPO. I mean, a lot of employees probably will because they'll be able to choose their own doctors.
Okay.
But it is the more expensive one.
Okay, so we have, that's the cost to the employee only would be $581.85, but what's the cost to the association to sponsor the healthcare?
That's gonna be the percentage of that. If you do 70, 30, or 75, 25, like it's been in the past, the court will pay 75% of that 581.
On our budget, Alan, which one of these fits in our budget?
Our budget is 66,000 for
Do we know which one does that fit any of these?
Well, we roughly pay now about 5,500 a month is what the court is paying right now.
Yeah, that's right
So
there.
it's about,
So which one is it?
That's 66,000.
So it kind of depends on what they're gonna sign up for. Because if it's employee only, any of them will fit in there pretty much. But if they start getting their families, then that's a different ballgame. Have the employees seen this? Like, did they get a say?
they have seen a portion of it. They have not seen the final numbers
So
yet.
they didn't get a preference out of these three?
No. No, because the HMO, when we had the 4 companies listed, the HMO was the only one listed. So when Allied backed out, then Troy sent me this
What-
past week.
Which program did we have last year?
We had the 3.
I mean, which one did we use last year? Which one would,
They had their choice of these 3.
okay, so they got to pick which one they
Right.
wanted.
Right.
Okay,
Majority picked the PPO.
so they went with the more expensive
Yeah.
cost.
I'm
Okay.
not saying they'll do that again. I just don't know.
Do we know which of these 14 who signed up? How many of those are employee only, employee plus spouse?
There's only one employee who had spouse, and that was me.
Oh, so everyone else is just
Everyone else is
employee
just
only?
employee.
Her
Okay.
husband now works.
Well, so, okay, so we had 13 at 581.85 and 1 at 1163.70.
But
He's an employee, but he'll go in December. He'll be
Oh,
individualized in December after his
Oh.
90-day
Right.
probationary.
He isn't qualified.
Not yet.
90 days.
It has to wait those 9 days.
Okay, so let me just run something here real quick.
So really, while you're working, I would just like to say personally, this is my personal view of it. I don't feel totally comfortable sitting up here making this choice for the employees. I mean, this is their insurance. And I think if they saw this document, what's covered and what's not, and just got to choose, you know, kind of a majority rules kind of
The
thing.
question
Their
is how
choice
much,
is how much we pay.
yeah, how much the court is gonna pay. If you're gonna pay 75, 80, 90, at one
That's right,
time
yeah,
we
that's,
did 90.
right, so that's what I'm trying to figure out, based off of his budget, what we say that we're gonna pay,
Mhm.
what would that give out, percentage-wise on the PPO plan?
I know we'd have to figure that out.
Okay, this is the monthly amount, right?
That's the monthly
Okay.
amount, yes.
581.85. Okay, 13 times 581.85 is $7,564.
That's 100%.
This is,
Right, but,
no, wait, you gotta do the 100% first before you can.
right, no, I'm.
Adding in the employee and spouse of $1163.70, we come with $8,727.75.
25%.
Okay, if you multiply that by 12 months, wait a minute, we gotta,
Yeah, but.
you come up, this is 100%, you have to do 100%.
If you cover
If you
75%.
multiply by 12%, 12 months, it's 104, 733. Okay, so, 60% of that,
60,000 and change.
yeah, so, yeah, 60% of, $60,000, so 66 was our budget? Okay,
Which would basically be 65%.
So that means
63%,
they have to come up with,
63%. If our,
That's if they allocate that expensively.
yeah,
That'd be the worst.
that would be, that's the most expensive one. That's top, that's most expensive.
Just shy
So-
of 200 bucks
Yeah.
an employee's check monthly for that increase.
Right, that's 66,000 is 63%. Last year it was, you said 75-25?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah. So, to stay within budget, we'd be able to only pick up, make it, 65-35. So we have to decide if we want to go over budget to give the employees the break. Now, all of them may not choose this one, but because some may not be able to afford it. So they may pick one or the other two and until they actually sign up. But the renewal date is November 1st. We have to do this
Yeah,
in some sort of,
yeah, because I gotta
Fashion.
get the numbers back to the employees and have
Yes.
them officially sign up or waive it.
right. And health insurance goes up every year. Mine went up under my supplemental insurance.
so maybe we can, do something with like a budget adjustment quarterly? I mean, you know what I mean? Because I'm afraid that if it's gonna be too costly and people they can't afford it. But now that you've been driving the ship a little longer, maybe, if we kind of,
I think we'd be okay at 75,
75?
At 70%, at 70-30, it's $73,313.
So Julie, when you talk to the employees, were they comfortable? Would they stay if they had what they kind of had last year, or?
They probably would, if they had something similar.
Because they've already kind of
If it goes up
budgeted.
any more, they probably wouldn't.
And that's what what you're calculating, we would have to go up, right? But if we can try to stay where they are, we might be able to keep.
Yeah, if Alan can adjust the budget, then maybe,
Do the 75-25 is what you're saying? That's what they have now?
75,
My budget is aggressive, is optimistic, or
Conservative.
Conservative.
it's conservative in expenses. In other words, I went to the high side in expenses, and I went to the low side in revenue. So it is a realistic budget that should be easy to attain.
$78,550 is 75%. And remember, we are waiting on forgiveness, and we should have all of it forgiven. We still have $192,000 sitting in the wings.
I think financially we're okay.
I think so. You've got better control of our finances than I've seen in the 10 years I've been here. So my trust is high in what you tell me. So 75-25 is what they had last year. Okay. Is there someone, well, let's throw it out here. Members, do you have any comments? All three of you? Okay. Dustin?
No. I have no comments. Other than in the future, I would like to see some employee input into their plan. I mean, we can figure out the budget amounts, but, so no, I'm fine today.
Bill?
Yeah, I'm fine with keeping the percentages the same as last year.
Yeah.
I'm fine, but Julie, I guess maybe like Dustin says, if you can talk to the employees, because this is only 14 out of what we have, like 50, or plus.
Yeah,
So-
a lot of our employees have other healthcare insurance.
Right,
A lot of them are, you know, fall into the Medicare and
Sure.
military too, they have the TRICARE,
Right.
and so,
Yeah, if you think that, you know, we're not gonna, because this could change if people drop. I mean, it can get more expensive if they get out of the pool. But we could actually maybe pick some up if someone realizes it kind of
mhm.
not gonna hurt their pocket. Okay.
Yeah, and unfortunately, healthcare goes up every year, and it's just a given. And you have to decide that whether you want to keep your employees and hire good employees, you've got to have the benefits to bring these people in. So, I think that 75-25 is probably the best we can do. I can no longer do the 90-10 like we used to do. And maybe with our finances in control, next year we can do better. And I agree with Dustin, we've got to get Troy to get this stuff to us as soon as possible. And unfortunately, he's captive also in getting information from his health carriers. He's a broker. He isn't selling specific insurance. He's a broker, just like Warren is our broker for property and casualty. So he has to search for the best bargain for us, and he has to wait on what they give him. So we can only push him to do that. So do we have a motion as to best way to handle this? Dustin? I didn't mean to put you on the
It's
spot.
fine. Is there any input that y'all would like to put in? Is there one of these that y'all think will work out better, honestly, for the employees?
Well, the cheapest is probably gonna be the best bet for a lot of employees,
Which would be the HMO.
HMO?
which would be the HMO.
But the problem is finding a doctor, right?
Yeah, because they'd have to go whatever Blue Cross decides.
Which is a relatively good size.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Like I know the hospital in Del Rio is in network for Blue Cross. Some of the contract doctors aren't, but like the
Yeah.
labs and all that are, so.
Yeah, the problem being is when they have, instead of going 30 miles to Del Rio, they've got to go 40 miles to Uvalde or 120 miles to San Antonio. So,
I know the cheapest one, the individual deductible is lower on it, which is huge, because
Yes.
they're gonna be paying off of that before, you know, they start getting real insurance help.
as far as expense-wise, I mean,
And it's the only one that has the telehealth, which is actually pretty handy
That's there.
yes.
to have. So,
and it has better prescription drug
Coverage.
coverage.
Well, first of all, I guess we should decide on the percentage that we want to work with.
I thought it was
So-
75-25.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that's, but I agree. I think either HMO is better than the PPO, but the PPO gives them more latitude. There's co-pays under the Blue Advantage, the S6, for the first one, there's co-pays, but again, like you said, there's,
yeah, but either way, they're
Yeah.
taking, whether it's a $40 copay or
Or
they
it's
decide
under
you're
the
gonna cut a
deductible.
check out of your deductible.
yeah. Yeah, because you're gonna pay it till your deductibles pay it.
That's right.
So, I mean, copay is preferable. So, well, if you can run those same figures, we're not ready to vote, and run those same figures. Okay, we got 430.
Well,
Talking about the first HMO, right?
Yes.
439.71.
Yes.
Well, would it be that we vote on the percentage and then the employees have the preference of their own, which one they want to pick?
I think that's what we're trying to get to.
Right.
We're only looking at this for budget purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So if they, if the employees pick the cheapest one, this 2575 will go, you know, price, money-wise will go down
Mhm.
as far as the total budget part of it is. But that would be up to the employee to decide which one they want.
Right.
Just like what we do with old folks when you have to pick your secondary insurance. You can pick anybody you want. You know, they're basically all the same in terms of what they cover, but you can pick whatever company you want, and in a lot of cases, it's based on the monthly premiums.
All right, let's vote on I think the percentage, we should just keep that a separate issue and let the employees, because the maximum that it would be there about $13,000 over budget, which Alan already says he can. And it'll probably be a mix of the three.
That's 75-25.
Yeah, 75-25.
So
let's just work on the percentage, because it's probably going to be a mix. The most would be that PPO, and that's about running $13,000 over budget, which Alan says the budget can handle. And the other one, the lowest one would be just for purposes of making sure that we are transparent.
Okay. Having said that, then I'll move that we, the employer, cover 75% of the employee health insurance premiums, and the employee will cover the remaining 25% of their monthly premiums.
Do I have a second?
Second,
Okay. You're all in favor? 75-25? Passes unanimously, less Robert. Okay, the cost of the lowest is $90,228 times 75% to the association is $67,671. So only $1,700 over budget. So quite a difference. And it'll probably be a mixed bag, like you said, Dustin. Okay, all right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ma'am, thank you.
I want to give an extra thank you to Julie. She takes on a lot more than her job description. Okay, next is a truck purchase. Again, Alan, you're on this one.
Okay, now we have landscape crew. We're one vehicle short. And Philip is planning, Philip has been using his own vehicle for, I don't know how long, years probably. He was planning on purchasing another one. His vehicle, I asked him what a price would be, and we looked it up on Blue Book, and the price would be between, let's see, the Blue Book price for his 3,500 2003 Dodge range between $6,000 and $8,000, and that's without all the equipment that he has on it. It has a 4x4 with 2 boxes and 100-gallon diesel reserve. It's actually a 5.9, while the one that I had quoted was a 5.7. And he was asking basically $7,000 for that vehicle. It's about the only heavy-duty vehicle we have. He will still use his new one, which will be a little heavier duty he gets in trouble carrying some of the stuff we have with his. So to purchase that vehicle, and it is a diesel, and it's 240,000 miles, so it probably has at least another 100,000 miles on it easy. It's in relatively good shape. It would be $7,000.
Dustin?
No, I have no issue with it. It's a good buy at $7,000. The bed that's on it's $3,500 by itself, and it's a whole lot more useful than a regular pickup bed.
So we're purchasing his old vehicle, his truck, and then he's getting it, it could be
He's
used-
gonna buy a new one.
and he's gonna use that for work purposes also?
Yeah, he'll still use it, so.
It's his preference and it's between him and his insurance company.
That's right.
Bill?
I'm for it.
Okay, Mariana, got any more comments? Well, speaking of the insurance issue, we don't cover, well, his, unless we want to pay it. His, and he has to, if he's using, if anybody uses their personal vehicle for regular work use, then they have to have an endorsement attached to their policy to cover it under work circumstances. So that's actually between him and his insurance company, whether he wants to use it at work or not. So, we can talk to him about other issues, get a quote for a non-owned vehicle, but it's very expensive for insurance on a non-owned vehicle. And Dustin's correct, the bed on this truck is worth $3,500,
Yeah.
stripped and resold. So, it's a good bargain, and it's nice of Philip to be willing to do this to us. And wanted to address a rumor. Alan is not selling us his pickup truck.
And y'all didn't buy my pickup truck.
No, you did not buy. I didn't even know you had one. I knew you had the Nissan.
I did it the old-fashioned way. I bought it myself. So.
I don't know how these rumors get started because the agenda just said purchase pickup truck. But one of our members tipped us off, and we thank that member for doing so. But just to dispel the rumor, no.
I think what was confusing is because there's a decal on it, so maybe that's what we can address is why.
Because he uses his own here, that's why. And there's another reason Philip wants to use his own vehicle for this. He's an EMS. When he gets a call for an emergency, he has to leave right now. He can't go home, pick up his personal vehicle, and go. So that's another thing he has worked out with his insurance carrier. He has to be able to leave right now. Even if he's driving a Ford vehicle,
Yeah.
he has to be able to leave right now, which is why it is allowed for him to leave in a Ford vehicle or his own vehicle, okay? And we're very proud of the fact that he is willing to take care of our community as a first responder. So, okay. All right, everybody's, okay, make a motion? Huh? Oh, do we have? Thank you. Motion? Bill?
I make a motion to purchase Philip's truck, I guess that's the way we have to distinguish
The
it,
2003 Dodge.
2003 Dodge for $7,000.
Second?
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? And it is unanimous, Les Robert. Okay, there's no paperwork on this, and you briefly mentioned it in...
Yeah, there's really not really much of an action item as far as just to let you know that we will be reestablishing electrical service to the fire station. There is a relatively new box in there, so it doesn't have to be rewired. There's enough in there. And just start working with some of the volunteers to clean it up. And I think it's going to be more of a winter Texan temporary thing for 6 months. Hopefully by the time we finish with that, it'll be in good shape if we want to rent it to somebody. There is a problem with the roof, but that is covered by the roofing's contract for their repair work. And they just have to take care of that. That's the only really thing there is. It's actually in really good shape.
Okay, I only put it on as an action item because people will question about who is in the fire station and
Right.
why are they doing this. So just to make it perfectly clear, I put it on as an action item. So this is approval to use the fire station for special projects by our members or by our employees and bring it up to
How does one get to use it?
they will make arrangements with Alan. Yeah, and he will control it. And we can still rent it out, for instance, if we have another hailstorm and we have a leak here for 2 years again. Okay, can we have a motion just to formalize this, please? Anybody?
Make a motion, we approve the fire station project.
Seconded.
First and second, all in favor? Approved unanimously. So now if anybody asks you, yes, it has been addressed by the board. Okay. Okay, the next is kind of unusual, but it's Matt Bland, our security chief, has requested that we make an emergency amendment to the current rules and regs. Now, as you recall, the committee did go over to revise some of the rules and regulations. However, when the new board took over, we realized that a lot of the changes that were made in there were simply unworkable or in violation of our HOA code or just general common sense. So we wanted to have workshops, but COVID has prevented us from doing that. So the old rules and regulations are still in effect. Matt has requested the following. Security is requesting an amendment to the current rules and regulations, Section 5, registration and identification of vehicles and traffic rules, as there is no current section defining the violations of traffic rules. It is my position that all posted traffic signs of the property of the association have been properly placed at designated areas for the safety of all individuals on association property. And in doing so, any violation of said posted traffic signs would constitute a violation of rules and regulations. Therefore, I'm requesting the FCSA Board of Directors to amend Section 4D by adding subsection A, violations of traffic rules with appropriate wording, in order for the association to govern violations of said traffic rules. Section 5, registration and identification of vehicles and traffic rules. D, violations of traffic laws. Any person found violating traffic laws will be handled by Kinney County Sheriff's Department in accordance with state law. A, violations of traffic rules. All posted traffic signs at the property of Fort Clark Springs Association, Inc. Any person found violating posted traffic signs will be in violation of traffic rules and subject to penalty thereof, as with any other violation of rules and regulations. So, HOA law allows homeowners association to govern speed and traffic control on private property. Kinney County, we have asked to actually enforce traffic laws on only certain sections of the Fort property. Scales Road,
Crockett and Fort Clark
and
Road.
Fort Clark Road. However, that just is a very small part of what they do, and they're not here all the time. What Matt is asking us to do is to allow us to treat violation of traffic signs the same way as we would do violations of any other rule and regulation with proper assessments.
On the rules, there is like a warning, $25, it goes up to $200. I mean, that's still in order, isn't it?
Yes. But he wants, it doesn't specifically say it goes to traffic. What he's trying to do is avoid a member saying, but you haven't specified that it refers to traffic violations. Now, the only thing that concerned me, and I'll say, is the fact that we don't want double exposure. In other words, we don't want the sheriff to come along and cite somebody and then have Matt come along and fine them, because that's double penalty. So we're going to have to clarify that with Matt, and I only thought of that last night at about 9 o'clock, so that if the sheriff cites for violation of law, that is the ultimate citation, and no further action will be taken by us. Now, this would add to our coffers, obviously, because we have some problems on other streets, like Fairway Circle, Airport Road, the Oaks. So I think the idea is good to be more specific in our rules and regulations, and that maybe today we can agree to, or not agree, whichever, to amend an emergency amendment to cover this issue, but with maybe some revised language. Dustin?
So, in theory, I'm not opposed to this. I mean, it's within our purview to do it. The entire first sentence is completely superfluous and doesn't need to be in there. We can just say, if you violate traffic laws, then you'll be penalized just like all the rest of the rules and regs. From a practical standpoint, this is another one of those weird government things where we put something down on paper with absolutely no mechanism to enforce it. Like we're not gonna buy them radar guns, I would assume. We're not gonna send them to traffic law school to learn how to visually estimate speed properly like the police do. So now it's all a he said, she said. If he writes somebody a violation ticket, and they come up to the board and say, he said I was doing 35, I was doing 20. Who are we to argue it? There's no radar to prove it, there's no video to prove it. It's just not workable. It's another rule that we put on paper that we cannot enforce.
Well, I don't think it's being addressed properly, because, I mean, in our bylaws, it needs to come from, not Matt, it needs to come from Alan. He's the one that makes the changes to the rules and regulations. So, Matt, it needs to kind of come from you. And
If we're gonna enforce it, we will have to buy a radar gun.
well, actually, there is another thing you can kind of do, and MUD can do it since they're a municipality. You can get, they're able to get, you know, the signs that say this is what your speed is.
How fast you're going.
Yes, and then you can take, security can take a picture, and basically if you have their ID,
So that has the ability to do that?
their municipality, yeah, I think they, you know, like at like the school, like when you're driving by there, I would maybe check with MUD. But again, if we take a, security can sit in hot areas and take a picture, we have their people's,
Well, that's good. 'cause
yeah.
we've
But
been-
like I said-
We've been posting them up on the corners, especially for
Yeah.
cars.
But I know I keep saying a committee and everything, but really rules and reg comes from you.
Yeah. And
That's where
I'm not, as long as we have a mechanism to produce evidence, I'm fine with enforcing these.
Yeah.
But we have to have evidence.
Right.
If every board meeting, we're gonna have 10 people coming saying, he's lying, I didn't do that. And Matt's saying, well, they're lying, they did do that, without evidence.
Okay.
Bill, do you have any comment?
The only question I would ask is that, are we also encompassing 4 O'Clock Road, Crockett Road, and Scales Road?
I would say
Even though there's-
all of the
All of four.
public portions of the
Yeah,
40.
Well, that's what I'm asking, to make sure, because like you was mentioned, this sheriff's department can issue a summons on 4 O'Clock Road.
Right, but that's
But-
easy, like if they get a ticket and come to us, a ticket from security and come to us and we say, where's the ticket the sheriff gave you? Well, it's right here. Okay, then your assessment's dismissed for
Right.
Well, I understand that, I just want to make sure that the left hand and the right hand know what's going on, that's my only question.
Well, I think what we can do is have Matt work with Alan,
I think so.
because Matt's opinion in this is important, because he is the
Absolutely.
one that enforces it. And that's why he phrased it as an emergency, because right now we are having some serious trouble with speeders and stop sign runners and motorcycles.
And instead of doing the whole thing all at once, you just do an amendment, and then you'll have to re-record it,
Yeah.
but
Right.
you can just attach it to the 2016 one.
Yeah, and hopefully COVID can relax enough that we can actually address the rules and regs and get them changed like they should be. It's just that COVID kind of threw a wrench into all kinds of things, and that was just one of them.
No, rules and regs, I mean, they can still work with Matt and stuff, because it comes from his desk.
Oh, I know,
to
but
present to
we
us.
have assigned a committee to present that to.
And then I don't know why we would do that, because
Because
the
I-
children would be like, okay, this is what I want my
No,
punishment to
no.
be.
We still have to, the members still need to be involved, it's just a matter of transparency. He makes the decision.
No, we
and-
make the decision.
as to which ones to recommend to us. But members should always be involved in things like that. Besides, they have good ideas. Okay, so do you suggest that maybe we table this until Matt works with Alan?
Let them
Yeah,
comment and then I'll make a
Or,
motion.
all right, anybody? That's the comment.